Hey there, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Comic Book Geezers. I'm your host, Pete, and my co-host and partner in crime over here.
Hello again, everybody. I'm Wild Billy, the Unknown Comic. Welcome back to another horror comic book episode from Comic Book Geezers. I don't know. I'm losing track. What is this, like episode 7 or 8?
I don't know. We just
Who cares?
Who cares? You guys love the monster and horror comics. We love them too. So we keep getting more, and we got more to show you.
So we'll call this New Acquisitions Horror.
Yeah,
Part 2, maybe.
Part 2, Part 50. I
don't know.
Yeah, whatever.
So Chamber of Darkness. We're going to start off with.
Yes. So Chamber of Darkness, another like horror compilation stuff from reprinted stories
stuff in the 50s
and the 60s, early 60s.
We're talking 1969, issue number 1. Pete's got it too.
Yep.
I got mine from our buddy Paul, who does Comic Cons.
Of course, by the sticker, you know where I got mine.
Mine's got a little bit of a defect. I've shown it before up in the corner. We got a little bit of a rip.
Yeah, mine's pretty good condition.
Yours is better shape than mine. But this is issue number 1,
and
this title went on. How many issues?
It went on for 8 issues.
8, okay.
And then eventually morphed into another, which we'll get to.
Yeah, we're going to get there. Here's a second. I just picked this up at a con this weekend. Awesome. Issue 4.
Hold on. I'm getting ahead of
yourself. What do you got? 3?
Number 3. Hold on.
Ooh.
Number 3. Okay.
And 4.
All right, so we got number 4. I'm going to open my number 4 because there's some stuff I want to show off in here. Okay,
all right, here we go.
Here we go. So
number 4.
Number 4. So cool cover,
there
right?
It is.
It's so the story itself was drawn by Jack Kirby, and I just want to point out that Jack Kirby created probably the most grotesque looking guy ever. Look at this dude.
Is that him up here
That's
too?
him. Yeah, look at how ugly this dude was.
Oh yeah, right there.
I mean, seriously. And the townspeople make him out to be like this ogre that they got. We have to kill him and all this kind of stuff. He's got all these experiments going on up there. Blah blah blah.
Almost looks like Mr. Hyde right there.
Exactly. Yeah. But in actuality, he had like. Because he was such a loner and nobody obviously would love him or anything like that, he actually got hold of a female, like a female mannequin, and that's who. And he would talk to her, and he just wanted to be left alone and all that kind of stuff.
She didn't never talk back.
So the villagers wound up killing him, and then they realized he just had a mannequin. The poor guy. Oh, we should. It's crazy.
Like the mannequin was his pet.
Like his spouse.
His
wife. Yeah, it was like his wife.
But
they didn't know. They thought that he had a woman captive. That's what it was, and he would talk to her. Meanwhile, it was just a mannequin, So kind of sad.
So they thought he was holding her prisoner. Exactly. So they thought they were doing good by killing him.
Yep.
Oh wow!
Because of course, ugly, creature.
What a Twilight Zone twist of fate.
So one other notable storyline in here. Okay. Very cool. So if you remember correctly, so Sword and Sorcerers. Okay, this is the story, drawn by Barry Smith. Okay, obviously. The guy who made famous by drawing Conan. So this character here he's drawing is called Star the Slayer. And this is like a year before he started drawing Conan. And if you looks just like Conan. This is actually what got him the Conan gig.
This is 1969 we're talking.
This is 69 or 70
something. No, 69. Well, maybe yours is 70 because the first one was October 69. So yours is 1970.
But if you get a chance to look at this, I mean, it's basically Conan. He's drawing Conan here. All right, Star the Slayer. So then Marvel decided to go ahead and do
That's a Conan-looking pose.
Absolutely, right?
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with the helmet with the horns on it. So very, very cool. I'm like, reading this. I'm like, holy crap, that's like Conan. And then I went and did a little research, and he was actually doing that right before the Conan strip started. So
that is definitely cool.
This is a great one. I love this one. I love the cover, and it's a pretty cool story, too.
I haven't read these yet. I only read the first issue. That's it.
I won't spoil it.
And then the title... eventually switches. Well, we got a few more, right?
Yeah, and
I like that. I like that they changed the title at the top, the words. See the letters across?
Exactly.
I like that curly swerve. The curve.
All right, so another one I got to open.
All right.
Because the dialogue in this...
hokey?
No, it's you'll see in a second.
Okay.
So you'll appreciate this. So, there's a... So the first story is called... A Change of Mind, and it involves like an evil scientist, and I'll show you kind of a little bit what it looks like first. An evil scientist and his little henchman, right? He's trying to create this giant robot. And
I like this face down here.
Exactly. Like
It's kind of, he's got Joker.
He's like spewing all sorts of hate, but the best thing about this is the dialogue on what he spews back at his little Igor henchman guy. So I want to read some of the things that he calls
his sidekick abuse.
Yep. You witless worm. Where else?
Let's see.
You whimpering insect. You spineless slug. This is like every page. He's like
talking back to his. What's this one say?
You whimpering insect. What else? You nauseating night crawler.
What's up here?
You miserable maggot. There's more. You slobbering sycophant.
Show the panels.
That's all he does is wreck on this poor guy who's working for him, right? And it goes on and on and on.
He's like an evil Frankenstein, Dr. Frankenstein, this guy.
It's crazy. What else? There's more. Hold on.
It's kind of worse than Chef Ramsay.
You spineless worm. Okay, what else? Oh my God.
He's harsh.
You sniveling insect. You fool. You simpering sandworm.
He's got a lot of insect...
yeah, but just
offensive. I find this is very offensive.
But in the end, the funny thing is, in the end,
to be insulted and be compared to an insect, that's highly offensive.
His helper gets sick of dealing with it all from him. He turns everything back on him. But it's just one.
So karma works out.
Oh yeah, he gets his. But it's just I'm reading this and I'm like, it's like one insult after another.
I was getting offended there.
Simpering sycophant. Mindless worm. I mean, like,
sandworm.
Sandworm. Yeah.
Mindless
sandworm. So, okay, so we got two more issues of Chamber of Darkness. So, Night of the Gargoyle, very cool cover. This, I believe, is a Bernie Wrightson cover. Yeah, 1970. Yeah, Bernie Wrightson, guy who was famous for doing Swamp Thing. And another Bernie Wrightson.
Yeah, this guy is a great cover. Yeah. Look at that.
Reminds me of Plug a little bit.
He's got
ironically, two guys who both drew like swamp creatures for each publisher, but.
I like that too.
Yeah.
And then the title switches over to Monsters on the Prowl.
Number 9.
Number 9.
So, of course, you got Jack Kirby here, Gorgilla. So this
is a reprint of something else?
Reprints from stuff from like 1960 or 62, okay. Yeah.
I don't have any of these.
Here we go, number 10, Rock. All right, so giant bird.
Yeah. Predates the rest of it.
Bill has this one, I believe, right? Or you got the other one?
No.
All right, so this is, they did two separate storylines.
I have the Marvel one, right? Presents, or the one that had the Defenders in it.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that Titan. That was that Marvel feature, I think?
Yeah, Marvel feature.
All right.
So here we go. Gamdula, the Living Pharaoh, a giant mummy.
Yeah, that's a cool cover.
Now, see if you
this I put back last year because I have this in
Where Monsters Dwell. The exact same thing.
Story. So I was like, I have this story in a different comic.
The cover in Where Monsters Dwell is much better though. But what's cool is this has different other stories in there. But it's kind of a cool story.
Well, I think it's almost the same cover for Where Monsters Dwell.
It's similar. Yours, the one you have is better. The Where Monsters Dwell cover is better.
Oh, you just said this one was better.
No, I like the other one better.
Yeah, you blew.
Here we go. Titan back again. Return of the Titan.
Yeah, right. The Titan's the one I have with the.
In the Defenders, yeah.
That line, Marvel feature. Cool I think it's like number 3.
Yeah, I think you're right. The Thing Called It.
It's great.
Yeah, that's another great cover.
And that's a different It than Supernatural Thrillers, which is a green It, which we've talked about.
Like a golem type of thing, yeah.
What number?
So here we have, this is a very interesting story here, too.
Yeah, I just got this one like last year.
This is Kull the Conqueror. So they were having a hard time. Kull was featured in another magazine. His own magazine, right? They did like 2 issues. Kull the Conqueror. They did 2 issues, and the sales were bad. So what they did was they continued the storyline in here. They just threw it. This is like a last minute like budget
deadline
thing. They just threw it in here because why would Kull be in Monsters on the Prowl? So they threw, and this takes up most of the book. So they threw it in here, and then Kull lay dormant for like a good long while, and then they resurrected him again and continued the story in Kull number 4, I think.
4, really?
Or 3, whatever.
I have them all now. I have to pay attention to
all the Kulls. Yeah, I just
the first 18. Now.
Okay, I just ordered them all. They're cheap. You get for like $1 and a half. So I ordered them all.
I needed 1 and 2, and I finally got a hold of them. So now
here, 18. The Colossus. This is probably for me one of the most successful of all these Monsters on the Prowl stories. This is very, very good.
Yeah,
it's about this guy.
I've shown this one off on other monster episodes that we've done.
So it's like a Russian scientist
who creates... I'm not telling you what episode, you're going to have to go find it.
You have to go find it, yeah, it's out there.
Of course you're going to ask, but I don't know.
But this is really good.
I don't know, it's out there somewhere.
I think you've shown this one before. Nothing Can Stop Bruto.
Yep.
This is number what? 18? Very cool one.
I have them all up to 30. I have all these.
Okay.
Yeah, I've shown this
Creature
one.
of the Black Bog, and then Colossus is back again. I always like this one a lot.
What's that number?
20. That's number 25.
And here's 24.
We skipped that. Yep,
that's all right. This was the first one and only one that I had until I started collecting 3 years ago. This was, what's his name?
Magnetor?
Yeah.
Cool Kirby cover, right?
Yeah. Reprints. Also,
that's a great one.
Issue 23. Going backwards here. I'm going to go back to 21. Yeah, I've talked about having this cover of this monster. We recently did another monster episode where we talked about this Grog monster.
The story was in another book, right? But here he's featured on the cover, right?
Another great cover. Issue 22.
Yep. More Kirby Rama there.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't get any better than this.
So many of these stories are like all the same.
They're
it's
hokey.
It's like
rehashed with
a monster shows up on Earth. He's from another world. They said the people from that planet sent them here to go check out the human race to see if they could take over. We always wind up beating them. It's the same story over and over and over again. And that's a great one.
It's always monsters from outer space. That's
Oog lives again.
Yeah,
where they come up with these names. See, we got number 26, the two-headed thing. This is a pretty.
I knew a guy nicknamed Oog.
Yeah, you know an Oog too?
I knew an Oog.
This is a really good. This is probably one of my favorites.
I got this one for $1 at a flea market.
Can't beat it.
Yeah,
can't beat it. That's a great one. No more Kirby.
I also like how they put the monster, like they headline him in the
cool little face.
Yeah,
too,
man,
right?
That's awesome. Like show this next one, how his head headlines.
Yep.
That's really cool.
Monsteroso. Right, and funny enough, the cover is actually the first page as well.
Yeah.
Which is very strange. I don't often do that. More Jack Kirby stuff. I love this cover.
Yeah,
I think this is kind of a cool story. But interestingly enough, in the story, there's no chick involved. It's just it's a guy.
Yeah.
Which is kind of strange. But again, here the first page is almost identical.
This is a comic book story where, terror. It's better to scare a woman, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. But very cool little guy. And then
this is the last one. Number 30 is the last one in the run.
With Diablo, like this kind of smoke creature. And this story is so ludicrous. It's ridiculous.
It's a great cover.
It is a great cover. They build him up to be this horrible, creature that's going to take over the world, and then they beat him so easily. It's just like, and he runs away, runs back, and we're never going to come to crazy. All right, Tower of Shadow. So another similar type scenario here.
Just got this at a con.
Yep.
It's number 1.
Very nice. That's a great cover with reminds me of the Dorian Gray painting.
It's definitely got that creep effect going on.
And look at he's
got that haunted house effect.
Look at this guy up at the corner. Ooh. And what they did with a lot of these Tower of Shadows is like they would have like in the first story, they would have it would be introduced by the guy who did the artwork or wrote the story.
This guy would be like the skeleton from Tales from the Crypt. He's the narrator.
That's right. Yeah. So they did.
Is that what you're going to say?
Yeah, they would have either these made up characters. They would have the actual artists. They would draw themselves.
This one had 6 different stories inside.
Yeah.
And the second story, the artwork, it's actually this story depicted. It's the art and the story by Neil Adams.
Neil Adams. Yeah.
And who else did I have there? Who's that?
Hold on. Don Heck, Neil Adams, John Buscema, Steve Ditko,
was issued,
and Johnny Romita. Oh, it says Johnny Romita. It says over. Or was that cover?
A cover.
Okay,
Johnny Romita did cover.
Steve Ditko did a lot of
these horror stories.
Yeah,
a lot of this stuff. Because him and Stan Lee did a lot of stuff in the 50s together.
Yep.
Tower of Shadows number 3, a recent acquisition.
Nice.
You had number 4?
Yeah, I got number 4.
And what else?
The Witching Circle is kind of like a witch story. Right.
That's a good cover. I have that one too. I just picked that up also.
You got number 7.
And also 8.
Where do you see? I love that one. Look at that.
Where do you see 8? I like 8 even better.
Yeah. Very cool.
Wow. Look at that, man.
Demon or something.
Yeah, look at that. With the moon in the background,
Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah.
Like it's a pterodactyl up there that he's riding or something.
It's like a evil bat thing, don't it?
Yeah,
no, dragon.
Or something like that.
See how the head's coming down?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely cool, man. And then another old title. This is like probably from 1970, Where Creatures Roam.
That's a great cover.
And this is the only one I have. New acquisition. And again, look at that above and below artwork style.
Great.
Above and below ground. This is actually an apartment, I'm sure. He's ripping the roof off of the house.
You'll see more Where Creatures Roam in a future episode because I just ordered the whole series. There's only like I think 7 of them.
It's funny he said, speaking of orders, we order from our friends in Texas. We've talked about them before, but they also do auctions, and I participated in one recently, and I was fortunate enough to win. And this is a grand finale, Poobah, Holy Grail acquisition to my Tomb of Dracula.
In great condition.
Thank you. I won this in an auction. I'm not going to get into that, but... So the rules are when you win, you have to buy the book within 15 days. So I placed an order, and this was the ultimate from that horror acquisition. Dracula #1, Tomb of Dracula #1.
So what do you need to complete your Tomb of Dracula?
I need 2 issues now.
You need number 10, obviously.
10 and number 13. And I was at a flea market about 2 years ago, and there was a guy that had an early run of like issue 4 through like, I don't know, maybe 15. And I stopped at issue 9. I didn't know the value of number 10, and he had 10. But I don't know if I stopped because it was a high price. I don't remember. But I had a chance to buy number 10, and I didn't because I was pretty much at the end of my money for what I could spend for the weekend, because between payday paychecks. So I balked. I didn't go for it. I had a chance to buy number 10, but I don't remember what it was. I would really be kicking myself if it was only like $2 or $4.
Well, it all depends on when this was, right?
2 years ago at a flea market. But the next time I saw the vendor, that book was sold. It was gone.
Yeah, it probably was still pricey, but if you bought it from some guy at a flea market, probably could have gotten it for less than if you buy it online.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I paid, for number 10, I paid like $200 for it.
Oh, wow.
Or $150 at least.
Because it's the first blade, it's the origin.
It's
the first appearance, right?
Yeah.
And then 13's the origin. That's what. But it's not
13 you can get. Yeah,
I've seen that at affordable rates, like under $10 for beat up copies. So, speaking of new acquisitions, Marvel Spotlight with the Scarecrow. This is my first Scarecrow comic. So I was like, yeah, look at him jumping through the window. You shouldn't do that if you're a Scarecrow. Tear you to shreds. Worlds Unknown was another creepy little 8-issue wonder from Marvel. They did issue 6 was a spoof on that movie TV show Killdozer. Remember Killdozer?
Yeah.
But this one is the first issue. I needed issue number 1. I needed 4. I have all of them now.
That's a great cover.
Yeah, this is awesome. That looks creepy. This looks like a good read. And number 8, which I'm not going to bother to show, which is about Sinbad. The last 2 issues, 7 and 8, are about the Sinbad movie, Golden Voyage of Sinbad. New acquisition for me, Weird Wonder Tales. I have a few of these. I've shown up issue 5, which is this. I'm not sure if this is a Kirby cover.
It lurks behind the wall.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. I like that.
And then he wants to come out.
Actually, I think Kirby was at DC right around this time, so it's probably someone else.
This is a 74. These books, I think.
Yeah, Kirby was still with DC. Good covers though, nonetheless.
Yeah, this was definitely cool. This guy goes to Shangri-La, looking for the secret powers, Fountain of Youth, and all that, and he gets there, and these people, they really don't want him coming around.
Don't come around here no more.
Yeah. Issue 12. We mean no harm to your planet. Actually, this guy's all about coming to Earth and hunting humans. There's so many of us. And please try to run away. I like the sport. Don't just cave in. There's no hope. You got nowhere to go. I'm going to get you. But yeah, this guy loves the thrill of the hunt. And the more you panic and fear, the more he loves it.
It's like there were 2 templates for doing horror stories back in those days, right?
Yeah,
it's
pretty cool.
All the same. There you go.
And this one I haven't read yet. Weird one.
Now that is definitely a Kirby cover.
Yeah. So I have 19. I've shown that.
30 cents. He was back with Marvel then. So
yeah, and this we've talked about the issue before. This guy, Dr. Monroe, I forget his name, or Dro.
Dr. Druid. Dark Secrets.
His first appearance was the previous issue, 19. Okay. That's what I was trying to spit out. New acquisition, Werewolf by Night Giant Size, number 4.
Yeah,
with Morbius on the cover.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I gotta like that. That was a good read. And number 5 recently. This was weird. This character was weird. Like a Prism, Master of Light kind of villain. It was weird. 2 different stories in here, actually. Both issues. So what else you got?
All right, so before we get into Crypt of Shadows, I picked up recently Fear number 4.
Yeah, I had this one.
fact, we both went with the con. They had 2 copies. We each got. They're $3 each. So I can't beat it. And then I also picked up number 6.
Number 6. Of
course, this is the book that eventually morphed into Adventures into
I have
Fear,
this one as
right?
well. This was my oldest. Now 4 is my oldest. 4 and 6.
So, Crypt of Shadows. I got a bunch of Crypt of Shadows. Now, these are drawn from stories going back into the 50s.
What number you got there? Number 2?
I got number 1. We'll start with number 1. So, Midnight on Black Mountain with the Witch Woman. These are, again, like I said, taken from stories from like the early 50s. So, very dialogue heavy.
Yeah.
But still some cool stories in these.
This was my first one.
Number 2.
Only one. Yeah, this is a good cover.
That is.
Love that hand coming through the door, that evil
really
claw.
Cool. I wonder who drew that. It looks familiar.
This is number 3. And this is kind of creepy because this guy has got the dead man's hand.
You got a zombie, you got a skeleton, you got the vampire.
He's got a pair of aces and a pair of 8s is the dead man's hand. And if you don't know anything about history, Wild Bill Hickok, when he was shot and murdered in 1876 in... what was it? Badlands, South Dakota? What was the name of that show you let me borrow? The Western.
Deadwood?
Deadwood. Yeah. Deadwood, South Dakota is where Bill was murdered. And he had a pair of 8s and a pair of aces when he was murdered. And this kind of spoofed on that dead man's hand, this story, which was kind of cool.
That's pretty neat.
Number 4.
Number 4.
Let's see. I don't have this one.
Yeah, this is a cool one.
Yeah, I like that. It's a nice werewolf pose.
Again, this is another one of those stories where you see the cover and you're like, oh, cool, he's harboring some werewolf guy in there. So in reality, he keeps his father locked in the cellar because his father's an ape.
Oh, okay.
That's all it is. And his father talks, and he's nice. He looks
all
menacing here.
The cover is more intense than the story.
Yeah, there's nothing intense about it. Number 7, this is a good one.
Yeah, I have
a great cover.
Just recently got that.
Yeah, it's a great cover, too.
That's a Bluebeard?
Yes.
And those are all the people he screwed over.
Screwed over, yeah, and then he gets screwed over in the end.
And then they make him, in regards to Davy Jones' Locker, right?
Yes.
Yep. And of course, we have to show number 8 again.
Yeah.
Classic. A comic book geezer's
classic from the past.
Loved. A well-loved edition here. Episode.
Yeah, that's a great story. There's a couple really good stories in there that I like quite a lot.
I like the Crypt of Shadows run. I didn't... Yeah. Went to the high 20s, like 21 or 22, 20.
I think so, yeah.
But I don't have any, a lot more. I have issue 20, which is
this story is absolutely awful.
Really? I like that cover, though.
The cover's great, but it's just, the story is just, and it's way too much dialogue.
So it takes forever to read.
Oh my God, it took me like a half hour just to read that story. It was like 8 pages. I'm like, that's crazy. This one is good. We'll find Bill. All right, they're looking for you here.
Yeah.
Bill. This is pretty cool.
I haven't read this yet. I just got this.
This is really good, so I won't tell them much. I don't want to spoil it for you.
Oh, no?
This is a good one. Good creature in there. I believe this is drawn by Jack Kirby in there, too.
All right, that's why.
Yeah.
That pretty much wraps up our new acquisitions for...
Horror and Monster Comics.
Yeah.
There's more coming, guys. So,
and we may have a special guest. We've talked about it. And that's going to be a major production, but we're definitely collaborating on that now as we speak. And so all in the name of entertainment for you, comic book lovers. I'm Wild Bill saying thanks for being here. As always, thank you for your support, your feedback, your views, and your comments. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
And stay tuned for more on Pete. We've got Daredevil and more Thor coming. So
we bought a lot of stuff, so we're going to show it off. Hope you like it. Keep coming back, guys. All right, we'll see you next time.
Take care.
Take it easy. Bye-bye.